Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I'm Leticia, and it's been a while since I last uploaded a video. I'm not gonna lie, I did take a break from making videos. Not that I was making much to begin with, but I did have a lot of plans and I did have a lot of ideas on what kind of videos I wanted to make, but just a lot of things happened and I just really needed to wait. The last video I had uploaded, I believe on a boat in Branson. I think I was at Table Rock Lake, and we had rented a boat and we pretty much spent like 4 hours on the lake. So I'm pretty sure that was the last time, or the last video that I had uploaded. About a couple weeks after that, we had plans. Well, we went to St. Louis and I had planned on vlogging the entire trip. I was going to make a video on like our weekend in St. Louis and all the things that we've done, and check out all the museums that kind of had visited. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it just seems like it's a lot weirder to vlog whenever there's family around, just because I don't exactly know what the family feels like or how they feel with me vlogging. I don't really necessarily know how comfortable people are when, you know, they're just randomly a camera in their face and then possibly it's gonna end up on YouTube. It's just that I don't know how a lot of people feel about that, especially family members. I don't know how they feel about that, for one. And two, it's just kind of one of those things where you just want to not vlog to upload on YouTube for everyone to see, and you just kind of want to relax and enjoy each other's companies and just be with your family. So it's just been a little bit rough when I wanted to vlog that weekend with my family, or with my fiance's side of the family, and I just really wasn't able to vlog anything at all. In July, I had planned on making a vlog, but it just didn't work out for the best. Actually, after I came back from St. Louis, it just kind of went downhill. And I don't know if I am able to say this without crying, just because it hit me so hard and so unexpected, and I honestly didn't think that it will happen. About 2 or 3 days after Stu and I had came back from St. Louis, we came back on the 26th, went to work, and then I think on the 29th, yes, on Friday, on 29th of June, I randomly decided to text my sister, and I asked her if she was busy like around 3:30, which on her time it would be like around 1:30 because there's a 2-hour difference. She replied back that she wasn't doing anything as far as she knew, and that she will be more than happy to talk to me on the phone. So I waited until 1:30 or 3:30, which is normally my break time, and we had talked about my wedding stuff. I had asked her if she, if it was possible for her to ask around, appreciating or taking advantage of the time that that we had some family from Guatemala visiting, and that the family was all there together, to just kind of take advantage of that moment and just, ask anybody who's there if they're willing to come fly or drive all the way down to Missouri and just being present at my wedding. So she said she would, It was a really short 5-10 minute talk before we said goodbye or goodbyes. And then she told me that she was going to call me back later, and I waited. She told me that she was going to ask my mom first, and I knew that meant that she's not going to ask her until like around, it would be like around 8 o'clock my time. So I wasn't in a hurry. I really didn't know what to expect. I mean, I just knew my sister. I knew that, especially when family is involved, she really doesn't respond back as quickly as possible. She sometimes tends to reply back within like sometimes 2 days the latest. She hadn't responded back to me at all. I didn't think much of it. I had gone to bed, and like around 10 o'clock my mom had called me, and I was so confused. I was so confused as to why my mom was calling me in the middle of the night on Friday. But I answered anyway because, you know, I figured maybe she forgot that I had to work on Saturday. So I picked up in a very sleepy voice, kind of to let her know that I was sleeping. I said hello, and she says, "So hi honey, like, were you sleeping?" And I said yes. And normally after I say that, she says, "Okay honey, I will call you back tomorrow after work, or maybe on Sunday when we're both are free and we can communicate all day if we wanted to." Normally she says that, but she didn't for whatever. There was just like a really long awkward pause, and I was just really confused. And she goes, "Honey, I really need you to stay awake for this." And I said, "Okay mom, what is it?" Like, I was just a little bit annoyed that she had woken me up knowing that I had to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning next day. So I was like, "Okay mom, I'm awake. Like, what do you want to tell me?" And then she says, "I'm really sorry to tell you this, but your sister has decided to find a new home with God. So she was in an accident and she didn't make it, and she decided to go home with God." And I remember my heart just being completely shattered. I didn't want to believe it because I had just spoken to her 7 hours beforehand. She was supposed to call me. She was supposed to text me back later, but she didn't. I couldn't sleep that night. I slept like maybe 2 hours. And even then, every time I fell asleep, I felt like my heart would stop. Like, I suddenly forgot how to breathe. For whatever reason at night, anytime I went to sleep, I just couldn't. Like, I forgot how, for whatever reason. And the worst thing was that I had to wait. I had to wait to see if Stu's boss will let him have a behavioral leave and go to Reno with me. But they didn't let him. They said that since we're not married, he's not allowed to have any behavioral leave or whatever it's called. He just wasn't allowed to leave because we're not married, and it just really doesn't count. It doesn't matter if we're engaged or not. He had to stay and work. So I waited for 3 days just to go over there, and I just had to go, man. I just really had to go. As soon as we got in a car, I booked my flight and I went. I flew out of Springfield and flew into Reno. where we had our funeral for Jennifer, my sister. It was just so surreal. It was just, I can't even explain it. It just honestly felt like it was all a prank. It honestly felt like my sister was trying to prank me into coming over so she can see me and spend some time alone before we can go visit my dad in July. And that was the thing. That's what upsets me the most, is that in July, my sister and I was supposed to meet up again in Los Angeles for my dad's wedding. We had literally less than a month before we can reunite. And I didn't even get the chance to see her before then. It was just, the whole time being in Reno just sucked. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love, grieving with my family, being with my family, cry with my family, but it just sucked. Because the whole entire time we just kept thinking, well, maybe she's gonna wake up, maybe it's the wrong body, maybe it's not really her, maybe she's hospitalized. And it wasn't until 4th of July when the morgue invited us to come over and not exactly watch him dress her up, but just to kind of like see her in her casket, just to make sure the casket was right, to bring in the clothes that we were going to bury her in, to do her hair, fix her makeup, do whatever needs to be done. And the whole time, like, the guy gave me permission to do her nails, which it was such a privilege. But the whole time we were waiting for her, in some ways it felt like we were in a hospital. It felt like we were just waiting for him to come back and say, you know what, we found a pulse. She somehow survived the accident. And she's actually still alive. But he never said that. We were one of the very first people who was actually able to see my sister in her casket. And I went over to do her nails, and my hands couldn't stop shaking. A lot of people have told me that it's pretty hardcore for me to do that, for me to do her nails. A lot of people were saying have told me that they could never do that, how they could never touch a dead body or anything like that, how it's just so strange for them to, or for me to even just touch a dead body. But honestly, and I hate to say this, but like, it bothered me so much that I was hearing all these people saying that, because in my mind and the way how I see it, it was not that I was a hardcore, or that I was, that I was brave or anything like that. To me, I saw it as it was my last chance to do something for my sister. And if I don't do it, then I'm never going to forgive myself. And I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. That's how I saw it. I never saw it as it was a hardcore. I never thought of it as a disgusting thing to do, just considering the fact that it's a dead body. I only saw it as my sister, my baby sister, who I would never ever get to do anything for her again. So it was my last chance. But my hands were shaking so much as I was trying to do her nails. We didn't bury her until, I think, almost a week and a half after we found out that she had died. And it was such a long process. I honestly didn't realize how long of a process it was just to get all the paperwork done. If anything, we didn't get to bury her until the day I had to leave for the airport, which it was so insane. It really, really sucked because I didn't have my best friend anymore. The only one who understood my struggles. The only one who was so weird and kooky just as I was. The one who understands all the inside jokes and all my references. She was gone, and I had no one to talk to. At least not the way how I could talk to her. Not to mention that I had been struggling really hard as to who I wanted to be my maid of honor. In college, I had made a promise that, my best friend would be my maid of honor. But then she moved to California, and it was just really hard. And my fiance and I, we wanted to have a really small wedding. We want a small wedding, and we want to have a small bridal groom party. So we really didn't want to have a lot of bridesmaids and groomsmen. We just wanted to have one best man and one maid of honor. And it was just so hard to me to pick if I wanted my sister or my best friend, because on one hand I did make a promise with my best friend that she was going to be my maid of honor, but at the same time my cousin was getting married, and with my sister being my maid of honor, she was able to not only help me with my wedding planning, but she was also helping me and letting me know what my cousin had planned, and to make sure that our plans, or like our wedding, doesn't coincide, I guess. Making sure that it's not like that we're not going to have the same wedding ideas or anything like that. And so, for the most part, I guess deep inside I was leaning more towards my sister than I was with my best friend. I was going to make my final decision once I got into Los Angeles, once when I saw her. But then I realized that I just wanted my sister to be my maid of honor. It made a lot more sense to have my sister as my maid of honor, just because of what's going on and what we're dealing with, and having two weddings, it just made a lot more sense to have my sister as my maid of honor. The only thing is I didn't know how I was going to ask her. And we had convinced my dad to take us all to Disneyland the day after his wedding. So we had everything planned. We had figured out who we were gonna meet, which rides we were gonna go on. We had a list of all the snacks, the Disney snacks that we wanted to try, and I just had like this great idea of just asking her at Disneyland. I didn't know how. I just wanted to ask my sister if she wanted to be my maid of honor at Disneyland, possibly in front of the castle. I mean, I really didn't have any plans just yet, other than the fact that I wanted my sister to be my maid of honor, and I wanted to ask her at Disneyland. But I never got the chance. I got her a matching shirt from Oya Disney Apparel, or Oya Apparel, correction, at Oya Apparel. That's in pink and rose pink, rose gold letters. It said "Believe in Magic." I already had a tank top. I wanted her to get one, or I wanted to get her one, so we're matching. That's what we got. Then I got our matching rose gold ears. And I was really, really looking forward to spending a day in Disneyland with my best friend. And possibly with my maid of honor. But we never got to it. So that week was really hard. And the rest of the month was really, really hard for me. Everything made me cry. Everything reminded me of my sister. Going to Los Angeles was the hardest thing ever. Because when I was flying, part of me was still hoping to see Jennifer. And then I would meet up with her. But I do have to say that on my way flying from Springfield to Chicago, it just felt like she was with me. It just did. My absolute favorite part about traveling and flying, especially with flying, is when we go up and we're really high up, that you get to see all the clouds underneath you, or possibly even right next to you. It just honestly feels like you are in heaven. And the whole entire time while I was flying, it honestly felt like my sister was there with me. And I know it sounds really lame to say that. Like, a lot of people probably won't understand what I'm trying to say or where I'm coming from. But honestly, it just really, 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 really felt like she knew how upset I was. She knew that I was going on this trip to Los Angeles feeling upset and lonely. And she came down in the best possible way ever, just to say, I'm here. Don't worry, I'm here with you. And in some ways I did feel a little bit more comforted, but it still really sucked. So that trip to Los Angeles just really sucked. My stay in Los Angeles sucked also. I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed myself. It just sucked because I literally buried my best friend 2 weeks ago, and then 2 weeks later I had to go on another trip without my best friend when I was supposed to meet my best friend. That's what really sucks the most. But I just needed a break from YouTube. I wasn't ready to upload videos, to be all cheerful, to post whatever. I just really needed a break from all of that. And even though there were so many opportunities for me to start vlogging again, part of me didn't want to, just because I felt like, I don't know, it just felt like I was showing the world how happy I can be without my sister. It just showed, to me it felt like it was all a show, that I'm enjoying things because my sister isn't here. And part of me just really felt guilty to continue my life without her. So for a while I did feel pretty guilty. I didn't want to make any videos, even though I had a lot of ideas to make videos. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. There's no way of me that was able to create a video without crying. Anytime I even mentioned to my sister, it's gotten a lot better now, but beforehand, anything that had to do with my sister, I just broke down. I just broke down and cried. I really wanted, my mom came down for Thanksgiving. For those of you who don't follow me on Instagram and on Facebook, I guess. Yeah, my mom came down to visit me from Nevada, and honestly, it was the best trip ever because I needed that. Everybody has been telling me that she really needed the trip, but honestly, I needed it too because it has just been so hard. Like, anytime I want to talk about my sister, no one wanted to talk to me about her. They felt like, I don't know, I guess like for them it felt like it was just a little sentimental. If they felt like, I just can't even explain it. But the thing was that it honestly felt like no one wanted to talk to me about my sister. And I wanted to, but it just felt like no one wanted to, just for the sake of making sure that I don't cry. Which I totally understand, but I just wanted to talk to about her, and no one was willing. So I really wanted my mom to come down for Thanksgiving because it was her first major holiday without my sister, and I didn't want my mom to be alone. No one understands her pains but me. No one understands my pains but her. So we decided that we were going to spend a week together and just really have that time to spend our first major holiday together. And it was so worth it. Oh my gosh, it was so worth it. I'm so happy that she came because we both needed it. Everybody has been telling me that she needed that trip. Trust me, I needed her to come also. Like, we just had a really, really great time. There was this big major surprise that I had been having to hold it in for like a month and a half, which really sucked because I was so excited. But yeah, here's a little clip that I'm going to insert right now.
Prepara tu maletita en 2 años, porque vamos a pasar Thanksgiving en 2 semanas con mi familia y en un crucero Disney. Vamos por la Jennifer, que siempre era su sueño de ir a un crucero de Disney. ¿Te parece? Te esperaremos en 2 años con amor. Latios, tú, Alex, Jeremy. Ay, vamos
We're going on a cruise. Thanksgiving 2020.
So yeah, we're going to Disney on a Disney cruise, which I am so excited. It has been a dream of ours to go, and we're going in honor of my sister, which is a dream of hers to go on a Disney cruise also. Yeah, we're doing good. Yeah, I also ended up quitting my job. I didn't even put in my 2 weeks notice actually. It was just getting really bad, and I just really needed to get out of Bass Pro, so I no longer work there, and I now work at Box Lunch, which is one of my favorite stores. For those of you who don't know what Box Lunch is, I like to refer to it as Hot Topic's older sister. It's a little bit more, not classier, but it's a little bit less embarrassing to shop there if you are in your 20s and you still love Disney and Harry Potter and all those fandom stuff. Yeah, it's a lot less embarrassing to shop at Box Lunch than it is to shop at Hot Topic. But I love it. I'm having so much fun there. I just really hope to get hired on as a full-time. I know a lot of people think that I have made a very stupid mistake or whatever, for quitting Bass Pro that I should have just waited for another month until December ended and then just find a new job. But honestly, I just couldn't anymore. I just really needed to get out of there. And honestly, I feel so relieved to not be working where I am. I am so relieved. Like, you know how, when you're in a really bad and toxic relationship, or whenever you have someone so toxic in your life, and once you finally cut them off, it just feels like you can breathe. As much as I love Bass Pro, the company as a whole, that's how I felt on my last day. I legitimately, on my last day, when I walked out, I just cried because I just felt like a huge weight was being lifted off my shoulders. So, I'm not going to talk bad about Bass Pro, just because they have been so good to me. They really have, despite all the drama and everything that is going on there. Bass Pro has been really good to me, and they have given me the opportunity and the liberty to, give me the job where I was able to test myself in a physical way. And I met my fiance there. I've had a lot of great opportunities. Well, maybe not so great opportunities, but I've had some opportunities that I was able to experience and not a whole lot were able to experience. So I would say it's not an entirely bad place. It's just there has been a lot of, it's not my passion. And if it's not your passion, you might as well just get out. So yeah, that's everything that has been going on in my entire life since the last video that I had uploaded. Now that I have a more laid back schedule and I'm not working overtime every single week, I have a little bit more free time. I will be posting a lot more videos when I can. I just have a whole bunch of ideas. Sorry, my nose is like really itchy. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. And thanks for watching. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. You're super awesome. And I guess I'll see you next time. Peace, love, and hair grease. I have a lot of more